Good evening, I'm Dennis Ward. Welcome to APTN National News Weekend. We start with news out of Alberta, where the body of 14-year-old Samuel Bird has been found following a lengthy search. The Edmonton Police Service says one man has now been arrested and charged in connection with Bird's murder. In a media release, Edmonton Police Service said Bird's remains were located Thursday in a rural area outside of the city the day before. EPS charged 38-year-old Brian Farrell with second-degree murder and interfering with a body in relation to Bird's homicide, along with 13 other offenses, including arson. EPS say they are not looking for other suspects at this time. Family and supporters began searching for Bird after his disappearance on June 1st, saying it wasn't like him to run away. In September, EPS executed a search warrant at a friend's house where Bird was last seen. The home was destroyed by a suspicious fire later that month, says EPS. It is unknown if the fire was in relation to Bird's murder investigation. On social media, Bird's mother, Alana Joseph, thanked Edmonton police, searchers, Samuel's warriors, and the cherished friends she made along the way. She also thanked all of those who donated to the search efforts and those who showed up to rallies. Assembly of First Nations National Chief Cindy Woodhouse-Nepenak extended her support and love to the Bird family and Paul First Nation on Thursday evening. The National Chief called on Canada to work with First Nations leadership and prioritize the safety and security of all First Nation people. On Friday afternoon, Edmonton Police Service held a press conference to further discuss the investigation into the homicide of Samuel Bird. Here is some of what Detective Jared Bueller had to say.
The cost of our investigative strategy included withering public criticism, which spanned political comment to daily denigration on social media. I have personally received correspondence questioning my integrity and ability as investigator. Criminal investigations are not conducted in public, and especially not on social media. While there have been positive aspects to the public and social media attention Samuel's case has drawn, there has also been an element I would characterize as social media vigilantism. At several stages, this directly impacted and jeopardized the police investigation. Notwithstanding that Samuel's remains have been located and charges laid, there continue to be references to narratives I have previously rejected as false. There are now demands that others, specifically children, be charged in relation to Samuel's disappearance and death. While I would normally refrain from comment, as this case is now before the courts, I believe it is necessary to address these claims and demands directly as they continue to detract from our continuing investigation and what may be a protracted prosecution. We now have a near complete understanding of the circumstances of Samuel's disappearance and death. Any videos purporting to depict Samuel's death are categorically false. The results of our investigation have determined that the family of the accused, Brian Farrell, were not present or involved in Samuel Bird's disappearance or murder. Narratives which have portrayed other youths as being involved in Samuel's murder directly or as a party to the offense have been confirmed false through our investigation. The continued doxing of any youth associated to this investigation is morally and legally inappropriate.
To other news now, and a Mi'kmaq man who was recently arrested by RCMP and charged on suspicion of driving while intoxicated. The incident was caught on video last Friday in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, and has caused some concern. Angel Moore has the details and a warning some viewers may find the arrest disturbing.
You guys don't understand at all. At all, you guys don't have no understanding.
That is Fred Siliboy. Police arrested him for refusing to take a breathalyzer. This video was taken by one of Siliboy's family members just after police tasered him twice on his left arm and chest.
I hit my mouth here and here, my face, I got marks all over me. And then I got the second taste from them. And I got marks all over my knee. And I got a second taste from them too. I didn't expect this to happen. I don't know why this is what's happening to me.
The incident happened last Friday night after RCMP received a call of a truck driving erratically. Police pulled Silly Boy, 58, over in front of his family's home in the Eskasoni First Nation, Onamagi, Mi'kmaq for Cape Breton. Silly Boy spoke to APTN News while visiting the Hunters Mountain Mi'kmaq community.
How come they're pulling me over? Said, your report is for impaired driving. Impaired driving? I said, why the heck you pulling me over for impaired driving? I said, I never even drank for 30 years, or I don't even do drugs. I said, the officer, the other one said, your report for impaired driving. I never did nothing wrong.
Mi'kmaq is Silly Boy's first language and says he asked for a Mi'kmaq translator, and he repeatedly told the officers he does not drink.
He didn't listen. He didn't make any calls for translators or bring in Mi'kmaq cops. So he told me, you're under arrest, sir. So I got really offended because I don't drink. I told him I'm refusing the breathalyzer.
RCMP has confirmed to APTN News in an email that Silly Boy was charged with refusal to comply with a demand, 2 counts of assaulting police officers, and resisting arrest. They also admitted to using a conductive energy weapon. Chief Leroy Denny of the Eskasoni First Nation was not available for an interview, but posted this on social media. He wrote, "First and foremost, I have spoken with Fred to offer my support. It is important that he knows the community supports him during this time. And our leadership is constantly pushing the RCMP to learn about our culture and to try and understand our community. We are actively working with them on efforts to address the historical disconnect. Silly Boy is grateful for that support."
Those statements brought out by Chief Leroy. When I seen that, and I just got a call from him, and he told me, don't worry about it, we're going to the wedding, his family. And I told you, I want these for 2 months. So, I'm glad you made your post.
Silly Boy is scheduled to appear in an Eskasoni court on December 16th. He says he is seeking legal counsel and will fight the charges. Angel Moore, APTN National News, Hunters Mountain, Nova Scotia.
It's been more than 6 years since Jody Wilson-Raybould resigned from Justin Trudeau's cabinet amidst the SNC-Lavalin affair. But a democracy advocacy organization continues its fight to have the former Prime Minister prosecuted for his role in that scandal. APTN's Fraser Needham has that story.
It was back in February 2019 at a parliamentary committee that Jody Wilson-Raybould famously spoke her truth on how Trudeau pressured her when she was Attorney General to withdraw criminal charges against mining company SNC-Lavalin. Fast forward to earlier this year, when Democracy Watch sent a letter to Ontario Attorney General Doug Downey, asking him to pave the way for a private prosecution of Trudeau for obstruction of justice and breach of trust in the SNC-Lavalin affair. But the Ontario Attorney General's office decided to stay the proceedings, stating the unlikelihood of conviction. Yet Democracy Watch's Duff Conacher says there is more than enough evidence to proceed, and has asked the Ontario Attorney General to reconsider in a new letter.
And there's lots of evidence that Justin Trudeau intentionally tried to get the Attorney General, pressured the Attorney General to stop the prosecution of SNC-Lavalin. And that's all that's needed to prove obstruction of justice. So if you can't stop a prosecution based on an incorrect legal standard saying we can't prove this.
The scandal led to Wilson-Raybould resigning from cabinet and eventually being ousted from the Liberal Party. Conacher admits the issue may have long since faded from the public mind, but that doesn't mean it should be forgotten.
It was deliberately made old news by the RCMP, and it is a cover-up, and they tried to bury it, keep it secret, and just through delay, hope that everyone would stop paying attention and they would be able to, for completely unjustifiable reasons, let Justin Trudeau walk. And we're not going to give up on it.
Wilson-Raybould won re-election as an independent in 2019, but left politics in 2021. Fraser Needham, APTN National News, Ottawa.
The Yukon is heading into an election shortly. We'll bring you a story on that and much more after the break. Welcome back to APTN National News Weekend. The Yukon is heading into a territorial election in just a few weeks' time. With the voting day just around the corner, 2 First Nations organizations in the territory held debates to see how the 3 parties vying to be the next government would address their concerns. Here's APTN's Sarah Connors with a breakdown of those debates.
It's election season, and with elections comes debates. Sort of. This debate, hosted by the Council of Yukon First Nations in Whitehorse, heard from the territory's 3 parties on issues that matter to First Nations people, though it felt more like a forum as party leaders read from prepared notes.
It's a chance to hear what each party stands for and what they say they will do.
Leaders answered questions on issues like climate change, Arctic security, and mining, and how they would support First Nations if elected. Liberal incumbent leader Mike Pemberton started his remarks with an apology, acknowledging comments he made earlier this summer to First Nations leaders that he didn't see skin color were insensitive.
I'm sorry. What I said at that moment was wrong.
Beyond that, he pledged that his party would continue to develop new minerals legislation in partnership with First Nations and advance land use planning.
The work isn't easy and it isn't over, but we'll keep showing up shoulder to shoulder to get it done.
As for Conservative leader Curry Dixon, he promised to cut electricity hikes, invest in energy infrastructure, and improve affordability.
And we know that means that we need to ensure that we continue to partner with Yukon First Nations, partner with First Nations governments, and find a path forward for all of us that improves the lives of all Yukoners.
NDP leader Kate White says her party has ambitious plans to improve health care access. She also pledged to launch a public inquiry into past mining disasters, something the other parties have been hesitant to fully embrace.
It's long past time that government stop fighting with First Nations. I'm committed to truly listening, to learning, to working together, to building respectful relationships and defining solutions together.
Thank you to all the candidates.
Another debate held by the Yukon First Nation Chamber of Commerce touched on issues like procurement, economic growth, and investment. But Liberal leader Mike Pemberton was noticeably absent, replaced by Southern Lakes candidate Cynthia James. All parties committed to helping First Nations businesses thrive. The Yukon territorial election will take place on November 3rd. Sarah Connors, APTN National News, Whitehorse.
Identity can be redefined through textiles and tradition. That's what Stephanie Ducev discovered when she met with the members of the Mode Autochtone Design Collective just before their fashion show during Montreal's Fashion Week.
These embraces are signs that a challenge has been met. Indigenous designers were in the spotlight, as highlighted by Minitipi co-founder Trisha Pitura, a member of the Nipissing Nation.
Today is such an amazing day to have 6 other Indigenous businesses celebrating our culture.
The event held at Montreal's McCord Museum was sold out. José Leblanc, founder of Atticus Canada, underlines the importance of their presence.
Il n'y avait jamais eu d'Autochtones qui avaient participé à la Fashion Week, donc cette année, c'est encore plus gros que l'année dernière.
It's the collective's second show, but the first in the official Fashion Week program. Designer Valérie Larouche of Mikunis Collection says she has outdone herself.
Mes tenues sont incroyables. Ils étaient incroyables sur papier, mais quand je les ai vues, c'était encore pire. Là, j'avais envie de pleurer.
Larouche is Innu from Maastricht. One of our creations was worn by Model for the Day, AFNQL Regional Chief Francis Véropol. José Leblanc, who is Innu from Washat Makmani Utanam, looks back on the collective's beginning.
Parce qu'on trouvait tout que ça n'avait pas de bon sens, qu'il n'y ait aucun designer autochtone, quand nous, on sait qu'à travers toutes les communautés, il y en a dans toutes les 55 communautés du Québec, il y a 2, 3, 4, 5 designers. Donc, on avait le droit d'avoir notre place et on voulait avoir notre place.
The message resonates with designer Jolene Robichaud.
Ce que je veux dire aujourd'hui avec ma collection, c'est Je veux dire aux gens autochtones de prendre l'espace puis se sentir bien quand ils marchent partout.
Robichaud is Mi'kmaq and Acadian, and she embraces all of her identities.
Ces derniers mois que j'ai vraiment commencé à me sentir bien avec ma culture, puis d'apprendre assez que je peux en partager avec les gens. Donc, je prends beaucoup plus d'espace.
The collective says its 7 designers are leaders in the fashion industry, both within and outside their communities. Also a member of the Innu community of Mastoyatch, Raphaël Langevin is a mother of 2, owner of a food truck, and designer. She is just 26 years old.
Pour nous, c'est tellement naturel, tu sais, le vêtement ou l'apparat, c'est quelque chose qui est tellement ancré profondément en nous. J'ai appris à coudre dans la cuisine avec ma mère puis ma grand-mère quand j'avais 8 ans. Quand j'avais 16 ans, j'ai appris à faire du perlage. Puis quand j'avais 21 ans, j'ai décidé de me partir en entreprise pour faire ça à temps plein.
According to the collective's founder, Wendat Jason Picard-Binet, domestic production is still possible.
Les créateurs travaillent à partir d'un rouleau de cuir ou à partir carrément d'un bout de tissu. Donc, on fait tout maison. On veut ramener, en fait, la création locale.
A practice already used by many artisans. The collective is in the process of becoming a nonprofit organization. It says it will open its doors to other creators from Indigenous communities.
Donc, pour nous, ce soir, c'est important parce que c'est vraiment le feu de départ. C'est là que la braise, ce soir, va s'embraser, puis on veut que les gens reconnaissent nos savoirs.
Stéphanie Desèvres, APTN National News, Montréal.
A new episode of APTN Investigates is just minutes away. We'll bring you a preview after the break. Welcome back to APTN National News Weekend. A young Cree woman from Alberta is breaking down the doors in the music business in a big way. APTN's Tina House had a chance to catch up with Tia Wood to see what she's been up to.
Ever since Tia Wood was little, she knew she wanted to sing. Here she is at 6 years old, singing at a community talent show for the first time, and winning the top prize of $500.
I grew up singing. I probably could sing before I could talk. I grew up around a really musical family. My dad was a founder of Northern Cree. My mom was in an all-girls drum group. My sister is Fawn, my uncle Randy, so it was kind of inevitable.
And now, at the age of 26, Tia Wood is breaking down barriers in the music business. She's the first Indigenous woman to be signed by Sony Music, and last year was nominated for a Juno Award, where she also performed with a collaboration of other artists, including the Snotty Nose Rez Kids. She has come a long ways from her reservation of the Saddle Lake Cree Nation in Alberta, following her dreams to the bright lights of Los Angeles.
Like 2 days before I was supposed to head back to the res and catch my flight home, and I was like, man, I should just stay. I just felt something within myself telling me that I had something to see through there, and that was about 4.5 years ago, and so much has happened since then, and it's been such a beautiful ride.
Where do I start and how do I say it? My voice is so tired.
And just recently, Tia collaborated with rock star Shawn Mendes at a sold-out show in Vancouver. They sang his hit song Youth, and Tia had an opportunity to write her own verse about murdered and missing Indigenous women and girls.
I had so many other ideas, but that was kind of just calling my name, you know, because whenever I get big opportunities to say something on a big platform, I like to bring up the issues because, you know, they're so important and they affect all of us, and it just felt right, and those words just flow, like they just poured out of me.
And for Tia, looking up at a sold-out crowd in Rogers Arena, it was a magical moment.
it was like, honestly, like just such a full circle moment, because when I was a little girl, I used to always dream of that. I used to always, we had this like stage that my parents built in the back of the house, and I used to pretend that I was performing the crowds when there was like just the horses or something. So it was like a really full circle moment, and it was really cool to represent.
Tia Wood is dropping her latest single, Sage My Soul, this week, and then heading back to LA to record her new album. Tina House, APTN National News, Vancouver.
APTN Investigates is back this week with a new chapter of Secrets of the Bay. Following a 2-year investigation, reporter Kenneth Jackson unraveled police theories surrounding the deaths of 2 Mohawk men in 2015. Now, with their manner of death changed from accidental to undetermined, the Toronto Police Homicide Unit has reopened the case, and Kenneth is back on the road searching for answers. Here's a preview.
The families have said the same name for years. A man on the other side of the border, someone they believe killed their sons. Many in the community believe it too, even if there's no evidence to prove it. And now I'm crossing into the United States to find him. The man hasn't been seen in Tyendinaga in more than 10 years. Not since the bodies of Matthew Fairman and Tyler Miracle were pulled from the Bay of Quinte. He left immediately, back to his home in the Onondaga Nation outside of Syracuse, New York. That's where I'm going, to knock on his door and ask him, did you kill the boys? It's about 9 a.m. in early April. It's been just a month since we forced the coroner to change Tyler and Maddie's manner of death from accident to undetermined, after proving the police theory of how the boat sank was wrong. As a result, for the first time in 10 years, authorities are now considering homicide, and all the evidence is being re-examined. Still, right now I'm wondering if I made the right decision to come here. The only backup I have is my camera operator filming from inside our car rental parked on the side of the road.
Looks good. Secrets of the Bay, Chapter 5 is coming up right here in just a few seconds from now. It's all the time we have for your APTN National News for this weekend. You can find more over on our website, aptnnews.ca. I'm Dennis Ward. Marcy Miigwech, thanks for being with us. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.